Let's get started with your first major news update. Jose Aldo has officially confirmed his retirement from all forms of combat sports. This marks the final chapter in the legendary career of one of MMA's greatest featherweights. After his recent unanimous decision loss to Ayan Zahabi, fans began to question what the future held for the former UFC champion. While Aldo initially suggested he might be done with MMA, his words were vague and left many hopeful that a return could still be in the cards. At the time, he simply said, "This may have been my last time inside the octagon," leaving the door slightly open and fueling speculation among fans and analysts alike. But now, the uncertainty is over. During a press conference held yesterday, Aldo officially confirmed that he is done with fighting, not just MMA, all combat sports. When asked point blank if there was any chance he would return, Aldo responded with absolute clarity and finality. He said, "No, I don't see myself fighting. When I went back to the UFC in 2024, it wasn't for money, it was for a purpose. I had a calling, I tried doing it, and it didn't work. I gave my all and was happy with everything I've achieved." He made it very clear that there is no fight offer, no opponent, no payday that could tempt him back into the cage. In his words, "There's no fight that would make me come back, to put the gi on, to spar, or do anything. Only in 5 years, thank God, I'll be almost 50. So there's no possibility of fighting. There's no calling. I have another purpose in life, another path. Offer me any fight, whatever it is, I don't want to." This isn't a temporary hiatus or a moment of emotional reaction. This is a final, thoughtful decision from someone who has dedicated decades of his life to the fight game. Aldo stressed that he no longer sees himself fighting, training, or preparing for competition in any form. The chapter is closed. However, that doesn't mean he's walking away from the sport entirely. Aldo expressed his desire to stay involved behind the scenes by helping his friends and teammates. He said he will continue to train at the gym, not to fight, but to support others. "If I can help anyone with the experience I have, I'll do it with all my heart," he said. But as far as stepping into the cage or putting on the gi for a serious bout, never again. And with that, the fighting world says goodbye to one of the sport's most iconic warriors. Jose Aldo's fighting days are officially behind him, but his legacy will continue to inspire generations to come. Moving on to our second major story, Javier Mendez has made it absolutely clear, if a fight happens between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira, he would favor Ilia Topuria to win, and not just win, but likely win by knockout. The respected MMA coach shared his thoughts during a recent appearance on Tim Welch's YouTube channel, and his breakdown has caught the attention of fans and analysts alike. At first, Mendez hesitated when asked who he thought would win. He admitted it was a tough call emotionally, but not from a strategic or analytical point of view. He said, "I don't know, but if someone gave me $100,000 and asked me to make a bet, I'd put it on Ilia. If you're asking me who I would want to win, then it's Charles. I'd put my heart on Charles. But if it's a business decision, a chance to double money, I'd put it on Ilia." That statement alone reveals the level of respect Mendez has for both fighters. He admires Charles Oliveira for what he's accomplished, but from a purely tactical and realistic point of view, Ilia Topuria seems like the smarter pick. Mendez went on to break down why he believes Topuria is such a serious threat. He highlighted one key trait: unshakable confidence. He said, "Ilia feels he cannot be beaten. That kind of confidence is powerful. If a fighter is very confident and can back it up, that's a dangerous dude." And when it comes to backing it up, Ilia has proven himself time and time again, especially in his most recent performance where he dominated Alexander Volkanovski, showcasing elite striking and finishing ability. According to Mendez, it's not just about confidence, it's the ability to execute under pressure, and Topuria does that at the highest level. Tactically, Mendez pointed out some of Oliveira's weaknesses, particularly in the striking department. He noted that Charles tends to stand upright, and when he moves in to use his hands, his head is often left open, creating an opportunity for a sharp striker like Ilia to capitalize. As Mendez put it, that's where Ilia thrives. He knows how to find the chin on the inside, just like what he did with Volkanovski. He did give Oliveira credit though. Mendez said that if Charles can land knees or front kicks up the middle, he could change the fight. Those weapons, combined with his length and striking creativity, give him some chances. However, the path to victory for Charles will be far more narrow. Mendez added, unless Charles can get him with knees or front kicks up the middle, he's going to struggle in the boxing department, and taking him down, that's going to be extremely difficult. In conclusion, Mendez believes Ilia Topuria has more ways to win and brings a level of confidence and finishing ability that's incredibly hard to deal with. While his heart wants Charles to win, his head and his hypothetical $100,000 bet says Topuria by knockout. Now let's move on to another developing story in the MMA world. Is Dana White punishing Arman Tsarukyan? This question is making rounds across the community after Arman withdrew from his scheduled title fight against Makhachev just one day before the bout due to a back injury. The timing was shocking, and naturally it sparked major controversy. Fans were disappointed, the UFC was caught off guard, and Dana White did not hide his frustration. In the aftermath, Dana made a very strong statement that got everyone talking. Even though Arman is currently the #1 contender in the lightweight division, Dana insisted that Arman will not be rebooked immediately for another title shot. His exact words were, "What do you do with him now? Do you just rebook him in the next title fight? He's going back to the drawing board. I don't want anyone fighting hurt. We've been in this situation before. We went down there with a doctor, with Heather from the PI. She's the best in the business. But sometimes you miss opportunities, and Arman did. We'll see how this plays out next year." That response left many wondering, is this just tough love, or is it a real punishment? MMA legend Rampage Jackson didn't hold back. He firmly believes this is punishment. Rampage said, "I disagree. I think it is a punishment. Dana hates when fighters pull out close to fight night. That's why I never pulled out of fights, even when I was injured. I knew Dana hated that. Arman should have pulled out sooner, but he waited till the last minute because he wanted it so badly." According to Rampage, the issue isn't that Arman withdrew, it's how late he did it. Waiting until just 24 hours before the fight left the UFC without a proper backup plan, damaged promotion efforts, and disappointed thousands of fans. Rampage emphasized that Dana has a long memory, and late pullouts, especially for main events, don't sit well with him. TJ Dillashaw also weighed in with his own experience. He recalled a time when he was set for a rematch with Renan Barão and suffered a serious back injury, so serious that he couldn't throw kicks for 4 weeks. It was later diagnosed as a strained sacroiliac joint, SOA. Even though he was hurt, Dillashaw didn't back out. He ended up facing Joe Soto on 24 hours notice and won by knockout. TJ said, "You don't want to give up your chance. But these days, with all the personalities and expectations, if you're injured, maybe it's better to pull out earlier, not at the last second." The message from both fighters is clear. In the UFC, timing is everything. Arman might have had every right to pull out due to injury, but doing it so close to fight night has clearly affected how Dana White sees him. Whether it's officially labeled as punishment or not, the result is the same. Arman's title hopes have been delayed, and his path to the championship just got a whole lot more complicated. Moving on to the next story, Tom Aspinall recently shared his unfiltered opinions on some of the most controversial hot takes in the MMA world. The rising heavyweight star didn't hold back and gave raw, honest answers on several fan-submitted topics that often spark debates across the combat sports community. First up, should there be a separate league where fighters are allowed to take PEDs? Tom didn't dodge the question. He replied, "There are leagues like that already, and honestly, it should be made public." According to Aspenol, if athletes choose to take performance-enhancing drugs, transparency is key. Rather than hiding behind failed tests or controversies, such fighters could compete in a clearly labeled, non-regulated league, one where the use of PEDs is openly allowed and understood by all involved. It's a bold suggestion, but it reflects a growing sentiment in certain circles of MMA fans and fighters who are tired of the constant drama around drug testing. Next up, are wrestlers boring? Tom was quick to shut this one down. "Absolutely not," he said. "If you don't want to get wrestled, then learn to scramble and get up off the bottom." He emphasized that wrestling is a foundational part of MMA, and calling it boring usually comes from casual fans who don't understand the skill involved. For Aspinall, wrestling is a weapon, and if an opponent can dominate you with it, the responsibility lies with you to improve your game, not with the sport to change its rules. On to the controversial Jones versus Reyes fight, one of the most debated decisions in UFC history. Tom admitted, "At the time, I did think Reyes won, but I can't remember now. I'd have to watch it again." His answer shows a fair level of humility, recognizing how memory and emotion can affect judgment, and how important it is to rewatch fights with a fresh, unbiased perspective. Still, the fact that a top-level UFC fighter thought Reyes edged it adds weight to the argument that Jon Jones may have been gifted a win that night. Then came the topic of soccer kicks. Should they be legal in MMA? Tom didn't hesitate. Yes, it would definitely change how people view the sport, but as a fighter, I do think they should be allowed. This take might shock some fans, but Aspenol argued that fighters already face brutal risks inside the cage, and adding soccer kicks, though controversial, would simply be a strategic tool. According to him, it's all part of combat, and fighters adapt to whatever the rule set allows. Finally, is jiu-jitsu useless in a street fight? Tom's answer showed his depth of knowledge and realism. In a fair one-on-one street fight, it definitely helps. If one person knows how to grapple and the other doesn't, that's a huge advantage. But it's rarely a fair fight. If you're on the floor, you're exposed. Someone else could come up and kick you in the face. In short, jiu-jitsu works, but only when it's truly one-on-one. In real-life scenarios, staying on your feet might be the smarter move. He closed the session by saying, "If you have any hot takes you want me to respond to, drop them in the comments. I'll get around to them." Aspenol's takes show that he's not only a top-tier fighter, but also someone who's willing to engage with fans and speak the truth, even if it's unpopular. Now to another big update in the light heavyweight division. Magomed Ankalaev is actively searching for a new opponent, and he's not being quiet about it. The Russian powerhouse has taken to social media to air his frustrations, claiming that neither Alex Pereira nor Gizi Prochazka is willing to accept a fight with him at the moment. Ankalaev, known for his dominant wrestling and sharp striking, seems eager to stay active and continue climbing the ranks, but according to him, the division's biggest names are dodging the challenge. On X, formerly Twitter, Ankalaev didn't hold back. He wrote, "Alex doesn't want the Ank. Let's leave him alone. I'm not a bully. Fake Ninja said he needs to go back to school because he can't read. Dana, give me some fish." The Fake Ninja is clearly a jab at Gizi Prochazka, who is often referred to as a samurai due to his martial arts philosophy and wild style. Ankalaev is clearly annoyed and mocking Gizi for allegedly avoiding the matchup. As for Alex Pereira, the current light heavyweight champion and former middleweight champ, Ankalaev appears to believe that Pereira is not interested in risking his belt against someone as dangerous and low profile as himself. Ankalaev has long been seen as a stylistic nightmare, not the kind of fight most stars are eager to sign up for, especially when there's more hype and money in other matchups. But Ankalaev didn't stop there. He added humor to the mix by asking UFC president Dana White to give me some fish, suggesting he's hungry for a fight and doesn't care who it is, just that someone steps up. That's when Jailton Almeida jumped in. The Brazilian heavyweight, known for his dominant grappling, responded directly to Ankalaev with a playful and bold message. "Hello? You can call me Jailton Fish Almeida." He even tagged Dana White and Sean Shelby in the post, trying to grab the attention of UFC matchmakers. While Jailton usually competes in the heavyweight division, it's possible he was either joking or seriously suggesting a catchweight or light heavyweight matchup. Either way, his response lit up social media and added an unexpected twist to the conversation. Fans quickly picked up on the banter, with some calling for a bizarre but entertaining Ankalaev versus Almeida showdown, while others speculated that the UFC might still be trying to book Ankalaev against someone in the top 5 of the light heavyweight division. Names like Jan Blachowicz, Nikita Krylov, or even Johnny Walker have floated around, but nothing has been confirmed. For now, Ankalaev remains stuck in limbo, waiting for a top contender to step up. Whether it's Pereira, Prochazka, or a surprise opponent like Almeida, one thing is clear: Magomed Ankalaev is ready to go, and he wants the world to know it. And finally, let's talk about Ilia Topuria once again. This time, he's firing shots directly at Islam Makhachev, and he's not pulling any punches. The rising featherweight champion is making it crystal clear: if Islam wants a shot at him in the lightweight division, he's going to have to get in line like everyone else. Topuria's comments came in response to recent statements made by Makhachev, who has been flirting with a potential move up to welterweight, while simultaneously suggesting that he would hold on to his lightweight title. This dual division strategy didn't sit well with Topuria, who believes Islam is trying to play both sides, keeping his options open while acting as though he's still the king at 155. Ilia responded sharply, saying, "From the very beginning, he tried to act like he had some kind of decision to make. About a week ago, he said, 'My move to welterweight doesn't matter because I'm not planning to vacate my title.'" Topuria didn't hold back, making it clear that he doesn't feel the need to ask for anyone's permission to rise through the ranks or take over a division. "But I had already said I didn't move up to lightweight to ask anyone for anything. I was the one in charge." He emphasized that while Islam was still talking and thinking about what to do, Topuria was already making moves. He framed the entire situation as a test of who really has the drive and control in the division, and in his mind, it's obvious who came out on top. So who got their way? Who did what they said? As always, me. Then he issued the statement that's now echoing across the MMA world. After this fight, when I have the belt, he can get in line. And it's a long one. Somebody's eyes are going to be shining. That last line, somebody's eyes are going to be shining, was cryptic but powerful. It could refer to the excitement of a future clash, the glare of championship gold, or even a hint at Islam watching from the sidelines, waiting for his chance. What's clear is that Topuria sees himself as the future of the lightweight division. He's not just talking like a contender, he's talking like a champion, someone who plans to call the shots, dictate matchups, and determine the direction of the division. This back and forth adds yet another layer of drama to an already stacked lightweight landscape, between champions flirting with other divisions, new challengers rising fast, and confident contenders like Ilia demanding respect. It's safe to say the lightweight division is hotter than ever. And that wraps up today's coverage. From retirements and rising stars to bold predictions, hot takes, and intense callouts. Remember, MMA never sleeps. Stay tuned, because this sport never stops bringing the heat, the drama, and the surprises.